Welcome to the January 8th, 2026 public hearing of the Southampton Town Planning Board. In the absence of the secretary, I'll take a roll call. Chair is present. Dennis Finnerty.
Present.
Present. Glorian Burke is absent. George Mutu.
Present.
Kate Fulham.
Present.
David Glazer is absent, and we have a vacancy. So please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we'll go in order of the agenda tonight, but just a brief security note in case of an emergency. These two doors open up, take the stairs down the stairs to the front door and exit at the front door. Okay? Thank you. So the first hearing tonight is the Bridgehampton Petroleum, and do we have sufficient notice, Council?
We do, Madam Chair.
Great. George, you want to read that into the record?
Sure. Please take notice that in accordance with local law number 14 of 2022, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, January 8th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Town Hall, 116 Hampton Road, Southampton, and via video conferencing to consider the pre-submission application entitled Bridge Petroleum. The application is for the demolition of an existing 1,182 square foot gasoline storage / repair shop and the construction of a 1,728 square foot gasoline station / repair shop with overhead canopy on a 0.376 acre parcel located in the HO zoning district at 535 Montauk Highway, East Quogue, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-341-1-52.
Thank you, George, please.
Good evening. My name is Charles W. Sutter Jr. I'm a registered architect, 435 Bay Home Road, South Hold, New York, 11971.
Can you spell your last name for me?
Southard.
Thank you.
And John Scott Prudente, attorney for the project.
What we are proposing, as was stated, to knock down the existing building, to install and create a new building that will house the existing facilities of vehicle repair, minor vehicle repair. We are proposing to add electric vehicle charging to this project. We are, the purpose of the building being designated as such, the way it is to add approximately 100 solar panels so that it's fully solar compliant. We want to add 3 20-kilowatt backup batteries to store energy on site. We predict that this will provide all of the needs of energy for this gas station and for the 3 dual charging systems for vehicles.
Where are you putting the solar panels?
On the roof,
Just of the building, the structure itself?
yes. Right on the roof, flat on the roof, with the roof surface. It's a pitched roof.
Will those panels, with the power, we've had instances where we had storm instances, hurricanes, electricity out for days, and it's been difficult to get gasoline. Will those panels power your gasoline pumps?
Those panels will power all the energy needs of the station,
Including the
yes.
gas pumps?
Yes, the gas pumps. There will be 3 20-kilowatt backup batteries that will store the energy. So I'm not exactly sure the usage of the gas pumps on the energy, but it would at least keep the station going for 2 days without power.
How large is the convenience store you're proposing?
There is no convenience store.
Or no convenience store?
No convenience store, no.
Are you tearing down the existing building and starting from scratch?
We are, yes. The existing building is quite old. It doesn't meet up with today's standards. It's not very energy efficient. It's an old building. The toilet facilities are antiquated. There is no handicap facilities. The purpose of the expansion is to add a waiting room, to add a mechanical room which will store these backup batteries in, and there'll be a waiting area, new waiting area, handicap toilets in the front of the building for someone who's charging their vehicle to be able to wait until it's charged.
But no convenience store.
No convenience store, no.
And what about the rear of the property, where you currently have some other things going on, right? Vacuums, cleaning, any?
Vacuum cleaning, we're not concerned about that, all right? We might have them, but we don't plan on it right now.
No, so that's a no.
No, they'll be in, if they are, they'll be on the side of the building that faces the parking lot.
Okay.
Will not be on the adjacent neighboring
We'll be
property
on,
line.
we have a total buffer in the back of the building,
Well,
a
that'll be
totally
discussed.
landscape buffer.
That'll all be covered in site plan.
All be inside plan.
Right,
That's correct.
If we receive a
So
site plan.
what's the square footage of the new proposed property?
The proposed is 1,728 square feet,
1,700?
1,728.
And what are you taking out? What are you demolishing?
1182, 1,182 square feet.
The 1728 of the new building doesn't include the canopy. The canopy is
Does not
new?
include the canopy, no.
The canopy is new. You don't have a canopy there right now.
We do not have a canopy, no.
So we have to include that in square footage as well.
Canopies? No, it's only on building
Structure.
area. I'm sorry?
It's a structure.
Yeah, it's not, because it's not enclosed. According to the code, it's not included, it's only enclosed areas.
Could you, for our purposes, just indicate the square footage of the canopy outside the
Yeah.
1,728 square
The
feet?
canopy is 1,233 square feet.
12?
1, 2, 3, 3, correct? Yes, okay, sorry.
And you talked about having the battery storage in the building.
Correct.
You have a waiting area of people who are charging the electric station. Is there still a repair side of this
There
vehicle
will be,
repair?
there will be 2 repair bays, and that's gonna only be for minor repairs. There's no major repairs gonna be done. Things like tires, brakes, batteries, things that all vehicles need.
Okay, just asking because it wasn't
No,
kind of covered.
Viable
It
question.
wasn't mentioned.
So the repair shop is in what part of the building?
It's in the rear of the building. It's accessible from the parking lot, which is on the east side of the building. Parking is on the east side. The building's 30-foot off of Walker Avenue to give a buffer. And the parking lot is totally opposite that, all the way on the east side of the building.
Did you bring elevations at all as to what this
I-
building will look like?
Gave you a rendering, and
I think there's
you should have all of that. And I do have some extra elevations that I brought with me. Yeah. These are a little smaller, but.
Ben, you have,
Of course I do.
So it's a flat? No, it's not flat.
Pitch roof.
Pitched roof.
This is the site plan with, I was asked in the beginning to show the new building over the old building, and that's what this shows. That's the
That was
old
helpful,
building.
thank
This
you.
is the new building.
And
So
then
if
just,
it-
oh, I'm sorry, I just was curious, I didn't hear it. How many existing pumps and how many proposed pumps?
There are 3 pumps now that we have permits for. There will be 3, and there is shown a 4th one on the site, which is for a future. We don't know in the future what kind of vehicle fuels we're gonna have. So we're trying to bring this up to today's standards and prepare for any future, any kind of energy that comes in the future that will power cars.
Are the pumps going to be in the same location they are now, or are they
No, they're not.
They have to be moved?
No,
Okay.
they will be moved.
Where are they going to be? Not in the
About
front?
same-
They're right under the canopy. That's what the
Under the
canopy is
It's on site
Yeah,
plan.
so
Yeah,
there's the
you
existing,
should have a
and then they'll be
floor
under
plan
there.
there.
Oh, right, so they're pulled back quite a bit. So you said that the repair, that you have 2 bays?
Correct.
So the south elevation shows 1 small door?
That's correct.
How do you get a car in there?
The,
Inside.
look at the east elevation. The west elevation, I'm sorry. Okay, that's from the side of the parking lot.
Okay.
So it's actually the east elevation, right? Because the parking's on the east.
East elevation.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is the east elevation.
yeah. Okay.
Currently, all of your vehicle access is off Walker Avenue, which is the west side of the building, correct?
Currently,
Or Main Street.
Or Main Street.
yeah.
And the building on the east side, is that a residence?
The east side is a residence and it's zone Hamlet office.
Okay. So there's currently,
Same zone.
so there's currently no vehicle access along that property line, but under the new plan, there will be. Yeah,
Correct.
everything is channeling on that side of it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Right now, the site has no landscaping, the site has no drainage. It's basically all paved. You could drive around the whole site. There's no curbs on Walker.
We're familiar with the site because you had an
I
application
know you are,
with
I'm
us
just.
for almost 2 years.
I'm
Yeah.
saying it for the record,
Can I
yes.
see the elevations?
Okay, we have, how many people here are to speak to this application?
This lady-
That's okay.
No, that's okay, I just I need some sense because there's no one on here. So, okay, but you'd like to speak? I would. Okay, so come on up, give me your name.
Yeah, my name is Donna Valone,
Alone.
V-A-L-O-N-E? V.
double L. I think you've received many letters of opposition from the community of East Quogue. I'm Donna Valone. I am part of the board of the East Quogue Civic Association and Beautification Committee. This applicant has been trying to do, as you know, for many, many years, transition this site that has an HO zoning into something that really doesn't fit with the beautification of our small hamlet. I would also like to ask the applicants about the speed of the supposed electric chargers. Those are not fast chargers where you can stay for 20 minutes and charge up, is my understanding. They are chargers that would take 10 to 12 hours, like if you were at home. So this is like, sort of disingenuous in that this is a real benefit for the community. So just in summary, it doesn't fit with our HO zoning. It doesn't, it's failed many, many secra efforts in the past because of the difficult location that it's in. It is almost right opposite Lewis Road that makes a turn difficult right now for any resident. And to include more activity in that area poses a public threat. You can see how Lewis Road comes in right to Walker. And the notion that we need also another car repair or an additional pump is just a fallacy. We have less than a half mile down the road another gas station, and there are numerous car repair places right on Montauk Highway. So I beg the planning board to really see this for what it is and reject this, because it really does not fit in with the efforts that we are making to beautify this community. We have just recently been approved as a Parks District, and we hope to really beautify the hamlet this coming year, least of which we need is a larger gas station with, as you said, these large, big, huge lights on them. It doesn't fit in with this zoning. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public here? Otherwise, we'll go to the Zoom. Peter, do you have some people on Zoom?
We got one person.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hi, I'm Jane Dietz. I'm the adjacent neighbor at 525 Montauk Highway on the east side of the property. I would like to echo Donna's note, what she just said. I'd also like to say that the repair bays have actually not been active for years, at least before COVID, and I'd have to go back and look at the exact date. So I don't believe they're allowed to be reactivated, given they've been out of activity for so many years, would be my first thing. The second thing, I believe in the schematics that I saw, that the amount of the exact amount of space between our property and what they were trying to achieve in the parking did not allow for enough space and buffer between my property and what they were trying to do. I think the parking that they were trying to put there. And then I think those are the 2 points I'd like to just make. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got two more.
Okay. So Anthony, that pre-existing non-conforming use would be lost, right?
They would have to get a determination from the appropriate, department of building, whoever makes those determinations, but
Or ZBA?
I'm not sure. There is a procedure in place to get a determination for whether something's been abandoned or not, if a use has been abandoned.
But what does the code say? 2 years, I
I think
think?
it's 3.
3?
I thought it was 5, but we'll check.
2,
2, 3, or 5? And it
2
could
plus 3
take-
equals 5.
I'll get the answer for you, Jackie.
Got someone else.
Yes.
Hello?
Hi.
You can speak.
Hello,
Yes, hello.
Barbara? Oh, hi, okay, thank
Give us your
you.
name.
Hi, I'm Barbara Frankel, and I'm here with my husband, Bruce Friedman. And we live in the East Quogue community. And when I heard and read about this, I have a couple of concerns also listening. One of them is the nature of our community. It's a lovely little town, and we do have gas stations, repair, more gas station and lights that just change the character of the town. And so that's one level. So I echo what Donna Valone said, and I think we'd want to enhance our community rather than detract it and make it like like Sunrise Highway in the Nassau part of it, where you just have gas stations and just unsightly commercial facilities. So that's one thing, but listening to you, I have another concern about the battery storage. I don't know if it relates to BESS or battery storage. So to okay a property that's putting some battery storage, my husband is a volunteer in the fire department, East Quogue. And there's a hazard with battery storage, and I don't know if it relates to this type of battery storage. The other thing is to put electric charging in. In King Cullen Shopping Center, they put so many electric charging stations there, and not many people are using them. So why are we putting, why are even adding this? And yes, if you ever going to do it, you would want quick charging, not overnight charging. But my main concern is the battery storage. The other thing is if they want to put new, I guess they just said 4 gas stations or maybe 3, and then what do they do with the other ones? They close it? What's the environmental concern about closing and then building new? I don't know how you create a gas station, but I assume you have tanks where they're stored below. So what happens to the tanks there? How are they sealed? So there's no leakage. Who supervises all of that? I'm very concerned about environmental impact. We as residents here are concerned about the hills and the environmental impact that it's causing with the will cause potentially the pesticides in the water. So this, when I'm listening, I have, some more concern. Bruce, do you have anything to add? Okay, that's it. Thank you.
That's great, thanks. You can put them in a letter and send them to us as well, or an email you may have already.
I sent an email to someone today, but I didn't know about the charging stations. And I didn't know about new, I don't know if you call them the bays, or, how you have the,
The canopy with the pumping station?
something,
Yeah.
right. I didn't know about that until I just listened right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for opening up the community. I'm going to go on mute. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Peter, someone else?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you can go ahead.
Hi, thanks. Hi, I'm Julie Crowley. I'm a resident of East Quogue for 33 years or so. I love our community. I do want to echo what Donna said, what Jane said, what Barbara said. I'm really concerned about how our community will have, the character will change there. I do think that it's going to be a more dangerous than it is intersection. I agree with the status of the request for the chargers. I own an electrical vehicle, and we have a charger at home, and it takes a really long time to charge. It's not like a quick charger like we were talking about. Be more environmental, but I don't think it's practical. I know that in the plan that they're saying that they would be putting in solar panels. Again, I don't know the trade-off of how beneficial that would be. I also have solar panels on my roof. If I had 10 times the amount, it would be efficient, but they are not really that efficient, actually, unfortunately. But in any case, I wanted to say that I did send in a letter, and I'm not in favor of approving this plan. And I think there's been many applications that have been altered, and I just don't think it's a good fit. So, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else, Peter?
That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else from here? Yes, please, come up.
I didn't sign up, though.
That's okay, doesn't matter. I'll put your name down.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Smith, and I'm from Hampton Bays, New York. I would just like to attest to the charging stations they put in the King Cullen parking lot. And I don't know the exact number, but I'm going to say there's probably 10 to 12. I've seen in the maybe year that they've been there, whatever, however long they've been there, I've seen 2 cars maybe there. And now when it snows, they pile the snow in front of them because they are not being used.
Good to know.
So I just wanted to say that I know those things.
Good.
Thank you.
Eyewitnesses, always good. Okay, so do you have anything more to say, Charles?
Could you clarify about the batteries?
Yeah, a couple of things I'd like to clarify, a few. Number one, the tanks are not being removed. The tanks are remaining in place, right? So there's no plan, so there's no hazard from the tanks, all right? If you look up the definition of a gasoline station, it's a combination station of repair garage and gasoline station. Your code's definition of a station, filling station. I forget what I said, but it's all one thing. So even though the bays may not have been used, they're still allowed to be there because that's part of the definition of the use of the building. Traffic, there are questions. We had a long traffic study, if you remember, on the other project. This does not change anything, that traffic study. As a matter of fact, this makes it considerably better. All right.
The batteries,
I'm sorry?
the batteries.
The batteries. The batteries, if you read your code, there's a section in your code for what's allowed as far as solar panels on the roof. And there's a section of the code there that refers to electric battery storage. All right? They are a maximum of 20 kilowatts, and we are allowed 4, and we're only having 3. We only plan on having 3. So it is permitted, it's a permitted use under all zonings within the town, as are solar panels and electric vehicle chargers. They're permitted use in any zoning. The chargers that we're having are going to be called level 2 chargers right now. Level 2 chargers are not a residential charge, they're a commercial one. And most vehicles will charge for maybe 2 to 3 hours on it. People don't run their vehicles down. They'll charge them 50%, 75%, and within a few hours, it could be done on these chargers. We have the potential to put in the level 3 chargers, which would require an additional electrical service from PSEG because it requires 400 amps. But we're not ready to put that in yet, but we could in the future. What we're doing and what everybody else is doing with putting in electric vehicle chargers is we know that we're trying to be energy efficient and environmentally friendly. And although the chargers that are being put in now are not fully used, we anticipate in the future they will be. There are no electric vehicle chargers in this area. I don't know where King Cullen is in relationship with it. Do you know how far away it is?
A few miles.
I think approximately 2 miles to the
Right.
east.
Yeah.
This is for people passing on Montauk Highway. This is people who live in the neighborhood. A lot of people would like electric vehicles, but they need a place to charge them. A lot of homes are not set up to take solar panels because the trees shade them. Their elevation might be in the wrong direction. So there's a lot of reasons that we're doing this. We're not doing this just to spend money. All right, we feel that this is the future of vehicles. New York State is pushing it very much so. There are grants to work with this kind of thing. 2 chargers, no charging. And as far as somebody saying we received many neg decks, we received one neg deck, and we got a conditional we received a positive deck, we received a conditional neg deck on the last project we proposed. So we don't understand and we don't believe that there will be a positive declaration on this site, on this use.
Has the ownership of this property changed?
No, it hasn't.
Same owner?
Yes. The owner's sitting in the back row. If you'd like to speak with him.
Just to make a note, the last time that we spoke, there was a question about the proximity of the battery storage to gasoline, and I wanted to just, if you don't have the answer today, that's
I
fine.
do have
but
the
in a
answer.
formal application
I do
would
have
be
the answer.
important
I've
for
looked
us.
up the energy code. I've looked up the fire code. I've looked up the code. There is a specific code on batteries. None of them have any problems with it. The batteries, the room that will store these batteries will have a 2-hour fire rating. All right, if we need be, we will put in some sort of a fire suppression system, probably a CO2 foam or something like that for fire suppression, if the fire marshal requires it.
Okay.
So I'm glad you cleared it. You talked about the level of charging, because I was going to raise that again following the comments of the first speaker and everybody else, because unless I'm mistaken, level 2 charger is really a regular 240 volt charger, a 220 volt charger that you
Correct.
can install at home.
Yes.
So
No, it's not like at home. Those are level 1 charges. The household current cannot take level 2 charges, as far as I know. Most houses can. I
I
mean,
thought a level 1 was plugging into a regular 110-volt socket.
no, that's 220 also. The level 1s are also 220 as far as I know.
Okay, well, we'd look some clarification, because the idea, I know this goes against, I have a vehicle myself, my son's had one for 5 or 6 years now, and the idea that you're gonna be looking to charge in a waiting room of 2 to 3 hours is against everybody who wants to use an electric charger for traveling. You don't wanna wait 3 hours for a charge. To boost it, if even possible with the level 2 charger, and I don't think it is. So the idea of having a waiting room where people are gonna wait 2 hours, 3 hours to charge their vehicles and move on, they will be looking for a DC fast charger of, 50 amps or more.
That's correct. That is, if we find the need for it, we will install it. We've already discussed it with PSEG. We could pick up another power line to get us the 400 amp service we need for that.
But you can't really retrofit, a level 2 charger to a.
No, the level 2 charges can be removed and level 3 put in. That's not a major deal. We're trying to bring the station up to today's standards. We want to see how this is going to work. First of all, we know that the solar panels are going to provide all the energy for the station. So that's number one. And it will provide the energy also for the level 2 charges.
Is there, you said you spoke to the fire chief or department.
I did not.
So do you know the required separation from the battery storage to the gas
Yes, I do.
tanks?
That's part of the New York State Building Code.
And what is that?
It's 2 hours.
2 hour
No, I mean the
suppression
physical,
proximity.
the physical.
Oh, no, there is no distance separation. It's a rating of the walls between the spaces. It's called the 2-hour wall. In other words, it will resist fire for 2 hours.
Okay.
It
well,
separates, it separates the
We
occupant.
have new battery storage regulations that we're going to be reviewing against what they're proposing. We're going to send this to our fire marshal and our,
Right.
and so, not that I'm not
No, that's
suggesting,
fine.
but, I don't accept no separation distance yet. Maybe there is, maybe there's a firewall requirement and,
a fire barrier.
but we'll get that information for the board to have a.
Great.
It's a fire barrier. The building department will know about it. It's in New York State Code.
Okay, well, there's public interest in this, so I recommend that we
Jackie?
close with a 30-day written comment period. Motion by Kate,
Jackie?
second,
Was there someone else?
Jackie, I'm sorry. Julie Crowley, who talked before, wanted to make a comment about the battery status, the charger status.
okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me speak again. I do agree with the person who just spoke before, sorry, about the chargers. 2 hours to wait, and then you said you would upgrade. I just don't see that this property would support everything that you're doing there. Realistically, when you have cars parked charging while other cars are parked there that are having service, and maybe they're not having the service the same day, maybe they're waiting for the next day or the third day or the next week or the next month. How many cars can be stopped there is what I'm curious about legally. And right now, the town is having a very difficult time enforcing the other repair stations right on Montauk Highway as to how many cars they can actually store there. So I can't buy into something where a service station is going to be a new service station when we have many on Montauk Highway as it is, and we can't enforce the number of vehicles on those properties. So please take that into account when you're considering this proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I have a motion on the floor for 30-day written comment period. Motion by Kate.
Second.
Second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? 4 in favor, 2 absent, and 1 vacancy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So the second application is for Hampton Coffee. Hampton Bays, and do we have notice, Council?
We do, Madam Chair.
Great.
Please take notice that in accordance with local law number 14 of 2022, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Thursday, January 8th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Town Hall, 116 Hampton Road, Southampton, and via video conferencing to consider the pre-submission application entitled Hampton Coffee. The application is for the conversion of the application is for the conversion of a pre-existing non-conforming farm stand to takeout restaurant, coffee shop, deli, inclusive of establishing 27 parking stalls at a residentially developed property containing 2 one-story dwellings and a 2-story detached garage, as well as the pre-existing non-conforming farm stand in the R20 zoning district, 31 Shinnecock Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-297-3-19.1.
Good evening and Happy New Year. For the applicant, James N. Hume, Kelly and Hume, 323 Mill Road, West Hampton Beach. With me tonight is Jason Belkin, the principal of the Hampton Coffee Company, of which this is one of their stores. This is a copy of the site plan that's has been submitted to the board. Already, as you can see, this is a mixed-use property that includes a commercial building on the front, some cottages, a barn, and a shed on the rear of the property. As indicated, we're seeking the necessary permissions to continue the use of the commercial property as a Hampton Coffee. We came to being referred to this board as a result of a change in tenancy application that we filed with the building department, and they determined that this needed to at least initially come to this board for further review. The CO history of the property goes back to 1959 when all the buildings were covered by a C of O that included some form of commercial sales on the front building. It was replaced in 1993 by a CO for a vegetable stand at the commercial in the commercial structure. But of main interest to us is in 2005, a certificate of occupancy was issued for the subject premises, renovating the commercial establishment for use as for food service, grocery, and other related activities, and farm stand, I'm sorry. And so I'd like to, I do have copies of that if you would like.
So are you saying that the proposed use is a delicatessen or a convenience store?
It's a coffee shop. It's very similar in its operation to what was permitted by the CO that I've just handed out. As you can see, attached there too is the application for the building permit that led to the CO, which described it as food service, farm stand, grocery, and cooking equipment, et cetera, et cetera. And I would suggest that what we're doing is quite similar to what was permitted at that time. Part of the support for that is a floor plan that was submitted at the time of the, it's one page each, but it's just one page. You can see there's seating areas, preparation areas, coffee service areas, sale areas for consumable goods that can be eaten on premises or taken off premises. And this was part of the application that was submitted that led to the 2005 C of O. And then in 2017, but that was, the tenant at that time was an entity known as the Green Door. And I was able to find some references online to the Green Door.
2017, you said?
2017, yes. In 2005, the Green Door opened after getting the CO that I submitted. And as you can see briefly from there, The pictures are kind of hard to see, but they were selling products for consumption on site and off-site. They were selling coffee, it was a market, it was a cafe. And in 2017, there was a change in tenant application. And this is what led us to believe that that we could proceed in that same fashion. It changed from the green door to the hamlet. But the use that existed in 2005 continued. I found a reference on Yelp to that as well. Sorry, Jason. Again, this indicated that they were serving breakfast and brunch and coffee and tea and things of that nature. There's actually a photograph of
Can I just ask,
all the
so
way
I
around.
understand here?
There we go. Yes.
So I see the 2005 CFC for the
Yep.
renovation of food service, grocery, and farm stand, indicating, that the work was done in accordance with whatever,
Correct.
But the CO, there's still a different CO, right? We've got to operate on a certificate of occupancy, correct?
Right. Well,
Is that the one from 1993? I don't see anything more recent. I just want to.
no, there was nothing between 93 and 05.
So that's the valid CO for this property, correct?
But it operated under the 2005 CFC from 2005 till today.
What does the 93 C of O give them?
Vegetable stand.
Vegetables and.
Vegetables.
So, that was, before that, it was a much more extensive, the 1959 C of O was much more extensive.
But the C of O is the guiding document at this point until you get an interpretation from the chief building inspector as to the use.
Well, I mean, the
Correct, Anthony?
2005 CFC means something. It doesn't mean, there were.
Yeah, no,
These two
I'm raising
entities-
this because I don't know the answers to them. I know I'm not working on this project, but, this is a pre-app, so we're gonna identify the issues. My question that I have, I don't know the answer to it, is this a change in non-conforming use, from one non-conforming use to another? That's my underlying question.
Okay. Well, I think the 2005 CFC says that it's not. Because.
That's what I'm gathering is your
Yeah.
argument, and and that needs to be vetted properly.
Because,
you
well,
know that.
it's my argument because it's the same exact issue. That they wanted to operate a facility very similar to the facility that we're operating. And in 2005, they got a piece of paper that said, go ahead and do it. And then in 2017, they said, yeah, you're changing tenants, but it's the same thing. Go ahead and do it.
But it doesn't.
I think obviously that's gonna have to get a determination from the chief
Clarified.
building
Yeah.
inspector. And I'm not trying to throw monkey wrenches, but I do zoning, Jim, I do
Yeah.
complicated stuff. The second, it's not just the commercial component that makes this property non-conforming, it's the two residences on the property as well.
Right.
So,
Right, it's R20
so
zoning.
all that's gotta be, figured out, whether, how this fits into the
And
process,
we've, now, just for the record, it's never been subject to site plan.
not as far as I could tell.
So all these permits and certificates have just been cranked out by the building department without any site plan review?
I think
No
that's
septic,
true.
no traffic, no lighting review, no
I
architectural
don't see any
review?
site plans, other than the one that we just.
Right.
Yeah, see,
But they did do it.
But the
And it
20,
is-
the 2017, what you call a compliance permit, all it says is change of tenant from the green door to the hamlet. That's all it says.
Yes.
Doesn't give you any additional use.
Well, the 2005
The
says
2005
renovation,
is
food
what
service, grocery,
defines the
farm
use.
stand. And
But
then they
this
just changed tenant from this to the Hamlin.
Yeah, I presume that the building department in 2017 looked at the 2005 CFC, saying, this is the same use, here's your change in tenancy. And so that's why we started the process where we started it.
Just a comment and a question. So I've been familiar with this property since probably before 2005.
Okay.
And so seen it, and it seems to be operating in a similar manner. The question that I have was about the more recent renovations, whether those were permitted by the building department, because the square footage of finished space, like heated, is more expanded. So were those changes
Well, I think the
permitted by
main
the
thing we did
building
was we
department?
rebuilt seating area on the one side, but it was rebuilt to the exact same dimensions. We do have a building permit application pending for that work, but it has been sidetracked by the change in tenancy and the referral here.
Okay, so that answer is no.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm very familiar with the property. My grandmother's house was on Springville Road.
Okay.
That's where we drove by, and it was going back to the early 60s. There was a picnic table. It's called Penny's Farm Stand, but it's essentially a picnic table with some corn husks and a couple of tomatoes. And I've watched over the years, you know, the stand go up, first an open stand, then the walls go up, then the roof goes up, and there's a commercial stove, you know, penetration out the back. So I've seen the property morph. I'm saying, where's the site plan? Where's, you know, what's next? Is it going to be, you know, are they going to, I told my wife, I said, wait till they go secure a liquor license, and they're going to have live music there till 10 o'clock at night.
The last tenant did have one.
Right, they already had a liquor license.
They've had a liquor license, I'm sorry.
But we
did.
don't. We don't.
So you'll have booming music out there till 2 o'clock in the morning. And this has been the pattern of this site, so, you know, unless I see some hard documentation of how this all came together.
Well, I think I've tried to provide that with the,
I think it's,
With the-
you're hearing it's falling short, Jim.
yeah.
And we're gonna need clarification from the building department. We're gonna have to walk back through this site. And I know this place got very active during the last winter Starbucks renovation, when business was booming, because Starbucks was closed for 6 months, 8 months. And this was the place to go for the lattes and so forth.
we think it's the place to go because the coffee is better, but
Yeah.
that could be a component as well.
Well, we're also in a residential area, so that's
Absolutely.
a big concern.
But
So,
something commercially has been going on there for quite a while, and it's
Penny's Farm
commercially
Stand.
thing.
from a farm stand
With
to,
the tomatoes out
You know,
front.
I can't speak to what happened in 2005, but, you know, the 2005 document means something. It's not a nothing. And it gave permission to somebody to to have this operation.
that was 24 years ago, right?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It
A
is.
generation ago. Okay, I think we have a lot of people who want to speak, so
Sure.
if you will, let me call Gail Lombardi.
Hi, Happy New Year, and thank you for the opportunity. I came here with prepared comments, but after listening to this, so I'm preparing that, I'm a layperson. So I went, but I did go through all the documentation I got on GIS because I was scratching my head. It's like, why the hell is this a public hearing? Because it was the Hamlet, and I saw the 2017 document. It was a smaller version, and there wasn't live music. A well-respected, you know, business owner in the Hamptons. A lot of us were proud to have a Hampton Coffee in the community, but I don't live there. So I don't know, you know, I don't know, Christine, if these people, the surrounding community members, received notice of this. It would be my humble opinion, and this is not my prepared documents, and I do not know the owner, but I would say it'd be a shame if he bears the burden of 20 years of the town not doing their job. I mean, so if there was a site plan that should have been reviewed 20 years ago, it's not really fair that a business owner bears the burden of something that should have been done 20 years ago. I thought maybe he was looking to do a big, you know, expansion and take over the residential properties, because I think it's a rental, right? Am I correct? Well, it's a lease, so there's a property owner. You're not holding the property owner accountable for all these lack of site plans. You're holding Hampton Coffee hostage to, you know, because it looks like the Hamlet to me. I mean, I don't live there. And say it's in residential is a little disingenuous, because across the street is that bar restaurant, right? It's almost directly, the station's right across the street, loud music, parked cars, parked cars, triple parked cars. Well, you know, thank God the Bel Air is down finally. But that's not residential. This particular property is residential, but that area is a hodgepodge of, you know, pre-existing non-conforming. The Bel Air was waterfront, was it RW? And residential. And so a lot of where you see houses is actually waterfront
RWB.
Resort
No,
water.
Thank you.
Waterfront
It's
business.
like, you have houses on commercial property and commercial property on houses, so it's like a real hodgepodge down there. I live on Squirtown Road, it's the same by me. You see a lot of one-family houses, but they're on, village business property. So it's like pre-existing, non-conforming, so I'm hoping that we could come to, like I said, I had different prepared comments, because I thought, this is a nothing burger, but apparently it's not a nothing burger. But I hope you guys, show some consideration that it's not this poor gentleman's problem. And so you fix it in the best interest of, everyone, including hopefully the neighboring properties. If they should also, hopefully have gotten notice and could weigh in. I live on Squirtown Road, so I'm pretty far away from that site. I don't know what goes on there day and
We have
night.
a few other people who want to speak to it, so.
Okay,
Great.
sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Got a quick zoning question. If pre-existing, now zoning was initiated in 1957, so when it says a pre-existing non-conforming, can a use be non-conforming if it didn't predate zoning? In other words, if it was established
Yeah,
illegally
whenever-
after zoning?
Yeah, because we go through zone changes, that evolved, that's over time. So it's pre-existing non-conforming whenever it was at one point legal, regardless of what it is today. When that changed, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20, 30, back to 1957, anytime between now and then, it could have changed. I don't know.
But the use of the narrative we've heard, all of the improvements in the C of Os have been subsequent to zoning without, does that make it, is it still pre-existing?
I have to, this is a more complex question than that, but we'll look into it.
No, I understand what you're saying, Dennis.
Yeah.
We'll go into it.
Okay.
Amy Paradise?
Hi there, yes, Amy Paradise. I live 2 blocks away, born and raised there, used to go to Penny Farm and get candy.
There you go.
It's been, it was called Penny Farm because there was a farm there. And I love the fact that the building is still there and it's still recognizable, and the farm stand part of it is just, it's still there. I'm astonished to even see it up there. Like Gail, I thought, oh my God, are they going to build some big commercial thing? Please don't mess with it. It's been hugely popular, even in the wintertime. There's always people there. Everybody from the neighborhood is going there. I know somebody that lives up on Fortune Cookie Lane and walks down to go to the coffee shop. Please don't kill a successful business in Hampton Bays. It's incredible. And it was the Hamlet, and a few years ago, I would go down there once in a while and treat myself to breakfast. So they've been doing this same thing now for years. It hasn't changed. And like Gail said, I don't know how it got done without permits or whatever. But we've got too many rules. We kill every kind of progress. Please leave it alone. It's beautiful. Everybody loves it. It's in a way, I hate it in the summertime because I've got so many people now walking around the neighborhood. They're rentals. There's lots of rentals, and everybody's wandering around. But they're
Carrying
up
coffee.
carrying coffee. They're up at 6 a.m. walking down there. Nobody makes their own coffee anymore. We do. It's a lot cheaper. But
Okay.
we finally have a going concern because they started in the middle of March, and I thought, are they even going to make it? Yeah, well, we're right into the next, it'll be a year next in March, and they have permanent business. The neighborhood people are going, I know some of them go down there every single day for their coffee now. Whatever you have to do, leave it be. They didn't mess much with the building, so it started with the farm stand, and then they put a terrace on one side, and it had, they ran beams out and just put a roof on it, so they had a covered porch. Then they hung those heavy plastic sheets so that they could close it in. And yeah, they had a stove in the corner for a while. They were trying to make it, and now they've done this beautiful renovation on it, and it looks great, and everybody loves it. Please make it easy for them.
Okay.
That's
Thank
called
you.
fast track. Who needs zoning and rules or anything?
Richard Casabianca.
Yeah. Well, they open a bar.
They had a bar in there.
Yeah.
Do we have any elevations?
We do not. I can provide photographs.
Please, that would be helpful.
Hi, Richard Casabianca. I live right around the block, and I'm going to come at this somewhere in the middle. Right? I live, I could walk, but I jump in the car because, it's winter. Charming, love what's there. We're okay with it. And I, like Dennis, and like Amy, have got a long memory. I knew what it was. It was this big, okay? It's now this big. And I didn't know I lived in Hodgepodge, Hampton Bays. That's very cute. Thank you, Gal. I thought I lived in Ponquag. But anyway, there's something about the hodgepodge that's okay with me, as long as the hodgepodge does not become, an overinflated, like wacky mess. So what I would say is, while I get, that you got to do your research and find out what the what's of, the history of all of this, we're okay with it now. We're not okay. I'm not okay with it getting 1 inch bigger. Nothing. So if there is some way to restrict, covenant, easement, something on it, okay, you can respect what's there now and prohibit anything else in the future, because if I know anything about this town, we see things creep and creep and creep and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I am utterly and completely sick of it, okay? I landmarked my own house around the block. We're in sort of a historic neighborhood. Keep it calm. It's okay, and no more.
Okay, great, thank you. Sue Smith.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak again. Sue Smith from Hampton Bays. My older brother, worked at Penny Farm when he was 16 years old, pulling weeds. I loved it then. I love it now. It's a great place to go to have a cup of coffee without all the noise of town around you. It brings people out of their homes, walking to places, going to places all summer long. You see families, you see couples. Everybody has a cup of Hampton coffee. I too, though, do agree. I don't want it to get any bigger. I like it just the way it is. It's perfect. There's seating outside to wait in case you have to, if they're too busy and you gotta wait. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, just the way it is. And it's not their fault that things happened, so please don't delay any further improvements to what is a beautiful addition to the Hampton Bays community.
Great.
It brings so many people out to walk, to get a cup of coffee, saving emissions, saving the air quality, saving everything. So thank you for letting me speak.
Thank
Would
you.
you have any issue if this facility turned into a 7-Eleven? Just curious.
Absolutely, I would have it.
So you don't
turned.
think the permits they're securing today would allow that conversion? You don't feel that's coming down the line, or that's a possibility?
No, because I think a 7-Eleven.
Just want to get that on the record.
A 7-Eleven would have to be bigger and have more
No,
parking.
They're very small 7-Elevens.
Well, I wouldn't be up here praising it if it was going to be a 7-Eleven.
My point being, sites change. They evolve. People who own properties, they move on.
But we have the power to not let it evolve
We
also.
don't have that power. When 7-Eleven sits before us, and we've done 3 of those, they've got the zoning and the pre-existing C of Os on their site, and they come and say, hey, we've got the documents, we got the proof, we can trace this use back to 1959, and we're powerless.
Well, I don't think that any of us are powerless at any time. I think that there can be restrictions put in place for high-volume facilities, which 7-Eleven is a high-volume facility. People go in there, they're in there less than 3 minutes, and they're out of there. They need a lot of parking for that. They need a lot of lighting for that. They're open many more hours than Hampton Coffee would be open. So there are restrictions that could be put in place. If you told a 7-Eleven, okay, well, we'll let you open from 9 to 7 p.m., they're not going to want to be there.
But we also can't restrict that by
Yeah.
law.
Well,
Can't
with
restrict
lighting
hours.
and
I hear you, we hear you.
with
Yeah.
lighting and everything, I don't know a lot of stuff, but I know that there are ways to make it happen.
And the coffee's much better at Hampton Coffee.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, wonderful
For the
place,
record.
just as it is.
Okay, thank you. Eileen McPhailin?
Hello, Happy New Year. Eileen McPhailin from Hampton Bays. I agree with what everybody is stating. I've been going to whatever has been in place there for about 20 years. And I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm a tea drinker, but thank you for having tea. And the way it's set up right now is very conducive to the whole area, to everybody that goes there, either allowing or not allowing the outside area to be enclosed was a great addition, much appreciated, because it brings in their business where people can stay during the winter. It's warm enough to be there and just linger for a bit. I go with a couple of friends, and we just have a place to sit and chat that's not on Main Street. I can walk to it if I want to. I don't find it disturbs anybody. I've never heard anybody complain about it. And I'm mixed in with a lot of people in a lot of groups. Everybody's very happy with it. So whatever you need to do, I hope that can be accomplished.
Great, so nice to hear. You have fans, Jason. You have fans, and the coffee's good. Is there anyone on Zoom?
No one.
No one. Okay.
Just putting on the record,
Yeah.
you know, as I stated before, this has operated in a similar fashion. I think, you know, it's important to follow the planning rules for the reasons that, you know, sometimes we get riled up about. So getting things into compliance and then going through a site plan process to bring it to where it needs to be is an important process. And, you know, it is a nice addition to the community, right? So I think I'd like to see that progress forward, you know, within the bumpers that we have established within the town to keep things in place, right?
And some elevations. Jim, please, we don't know what, I mean, everyone who goes there knows it, but I don't. So we'll close with a 10-day written comment period.
I think you have to,
Motion?
is this a pre-submission?
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's 30 days, yeah, it's also 30 days, yeah. Kate?
30-day
30-day written comment period, second by Dennis, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 4 in favor, 2 absent, 1 vacancy. Thank you very much.
No, no,
There isn't any.
The written record is
So
open for 30
written
days.
comment period for 30 days.
30 days. Thanks, Jim.
So all 3 hearings tonight are pre-submission, so they have not submitted a formal application. It's just to hear responses, right, before they submit a formal application.
No, wait, the first one was pre-submission. I closed.
They're all pre-submitted.
All 3 are
I closed it
pre-submission.
with 10 days.
No,
No,
30.
you
Did
did
30.
I said 30.
You did 30.
Yeah, 'cause
First.
Sorry.
Public was interested, so
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
All right, so we're moving on to number 3, which is the propane depot. Do we have notice? Great. Dennis, you want to read
Sure.
that?
Please take notice that in accordance with local law 14/2022, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board Thursday, January 8th, 2026, at 6 p.m. Town Hall, 116 Hampton Road, Southampton, and via video conferencing to consider the pre-submission application entitled Propane Depot. The application is to convert an existing automotive towing use to a liquefied gas dealer through the installation of 2 underground 40,000-gallon liquid propane tanks, demolition of an existing detached garage, construction of a new 966-square-foot warehouse, and reconfigured parking at commercially developed property in the Highway Business Zone, 159 Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays, tax map 900-222-1-14.
Take a deep breath. Good evening, Heather Wright for the applicant, 48H Main Street, West Hampton Beach. I'm here tonight with the principal of Propane Depot, Chris Brody. Also have Hiltz Propane, who are like the installers here today in case there's any questions. So yes, Propane Depot is, well, the current use of the property, as you said, is offices, an auto repair shop, and towing company. The proposed use is the Propane Depot business. This is delivery of propane to residential and commercial customers, the installation of tanks at homes and businesses, and then the install of the associated piping that go along with those systems. The front building, if you can see it on the aerial, is an office building. The applicant currently has an open building permit to do limited interior alterations and renovations to that front building, and the intention is to use that for administrative offices for the company. We're not really making any exterior changes to the front of the building. Just kind of cleaning up the parking area. There's a lot of uneven pavement there. But the intention of that building is to be the sort of front office of the building. And then there's a back building there now that's very close to the property line. It's approximately 1,700 square feet. It's in a real dilapidated condition. We're proposing to demolish that building and install a new sort of wood frame building that'll be much smaller, 952 square feet. And really the purpose of that building is to store parts, the things that we need for installation at homes and commercial businesses. There's no offices going to be in that building. And then in the back is what we're calling the yard. So there's going to be two 40,000-gallon underground propane tanks, and then the storage of the tanks that will be delivered to homes and businesses for their residential and commercial
Let's see if I can get
uses.
the map up here.
Thank you.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear what you
No,
said.
you can continue, I'm
The
sorry.
site.
Oh, okay.
Was this the rapid recovery?
It was,
Oh, it
yes.
was, okay.
Yep, it was rapid recovery. So like I said, the new building that we're proposing is going to be a nice wood frame building, and it will meet the setback, so we'll bring that into conformance from what's there.
So all the existing uses will be discontinued?
Yes, the existing use will be discontinued, and we're replacing it with the propane depot business.
Now, a few feet west of you, there's a signal. And I'm wondering, what's directly west of you? Do you have any ability to get your trucks through the adjoining site and out to the traffic signal? Because otherwise you can't.
No,
make
but
a
we actually have, if you look at the configuration of the driveway, it's an in and out, so it's going to be one way in, one way out driveway for the trucks. So it actually works out perfectly, because where the traffic light is, will be an easy entrance or exit? Is that the exit? That's the exit, right, by the light. So that'll be easy with the light there, and then you'll go around the circular driveway, so it won't have an impact.
Yeah, I know. I can tell you what rapid recovery does. When they come down Riverhead Road, they cut through the Macy's parking lot to get to that signal, and then they using the traffic signal, they make a left to get into their site.
Right, but that's a different, I mean, I don't know what they do, I know what we're gonna do, but that's a different business with a lot more traffic in and
Right.
out. Yeah, that's not what
Yeah.
we're proposing here.
It would be nice if you could somehow link up, that's not RBS next
They
to
actually, just to put a
It
comment
is?
there, they actually also rapid recovery. They use the east entrance as an in and out for their big trucks.
Right.
We're gonna be using the west entrance as an in, the east as an out.
And,
So they were cutting in like that front where the light was, that's how they used to come in and out. We're
You make
changing
your
it.
right-hand turn.
But if you're heading west,
So they use, if you look at the property, there's the east entrance. We're gonna use the west entrance as our in.
So they're right next to the
And
diner
then
property.
that east side by the light is the out. The Rapid Recovery used that one, all their trucks came in and out of that
but if
one.
you're heading west,
I think it's the other way
you've
around.
got the stripe divider, and then you got two eastbound lanes. There's no way you can make a left in there. I'm just, that's why I say,
Yeah.
if you can secure some sort of cross-access, I don't know if we have one in place, to get to the adjoining site to use that signal, would really help you.
Yeah, I don't think we're close enough to the signal.
Site next door?
Yes.
But I don't know if we have a cross-access
but I don't think
in
we have-
place.
There is not.
I don't think there's cross-access with you.
I've been there
Remember
a
we
lot.
did
Yeah,
that
I don't
with the
think-
diner property?
Oh, the
Did
old,
we ask
it's
for
the old
future
diner
cross-
property,
that
where
was
the
the
two
old
medical
diner-
buildings are
Yeah,
going
did
up?
we
Yeah,
ask
that's
for
the
a
old
future
diner property.
cross-access? I don't think we did, because they weren't gonna open up the other way.
You also have to remember too, that
I
these
don't-
are,
I
these
don't know, I
are,
don't- the easement layer doesn't show it.
they're fewer vehicles, and they go out in the morning and they don't come back until the evening. So it's a different kind of use here than what currently existed at the site. And we don't have people bringing trucks for repair or cars for repair and coming in and out all day long.
I'm just saying, you can't make a left out of it. The aerial kind of proves it, especially in the morning, because the people, as you know, they're getting off on the East Quogue exit cutting through Hampton Bays, it's stacked at that light by the
Yeah,
diner.
I've been there multiple times, obviously now. And I get out, if I come out of that entrance, what happens is after that light, you get the green arrow and that stuff. Like, once the traffic goes through, you have this break to get out. And then you have to wait for the next quick flow, but it actually totally opens up. That whole section opens up as those lights go. For a little bit, you get a big window in there. Because there's a light prior and then there's that light. And when you get that break, it actually just opens up.
Okay.
You could go either way.
What's the length of your truck?
Do you want to really devote?
The gas trucks are about 25 to 35 feet.
Including the cab, including the whole total?
Yeah, it depends on which truck. There's a few different truck sizes.
Right, but the biggest?
Yeah.
And you have proper circulation in there, turning radiuses?
Yeah, that was all engineered.
Yeah, and actually, we're proposing to widen the one entrance further west, because right now it's a little bit narrower, so we have the room to widen it a little bit to make the entrance a little.
I mean, ultimately, I personally am glad to see you come in because you'll clean up the site. Rapid recovery
Yes.
was kind of like a mess.
No, it's a mess, and it was. Being like a kind of repair shop, there's cars
Yeah,
all
I
in
mean,
there,
it's
junk,
cars
garbage,
everywhere.
cars that were like
Yeah.
dilapidated, filled with, the whole lot was filled with that.
So you're going to dress up the site to a certain extent.
We already
That
has, I mean,
entrance-
even just now, we have a building permit, and we just got an inspection today to close up the walls on the interior. Then we're gonna work on the pavement on the outside, so they're taking steps already to improve the site.
The west one on here, this pre-submission plan doesn't have the widen thing. I've been speaking with the site plan guy, but that'll be on our full app. We'll show where that's gonna widen a bit on there to make that a little easier.
As I recall, there's like at the front house is like almost like a historical stucco house,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
that was
that's it.
dates, I think probably from the 30s.
37.
37, right? Because the Jackson family built a number of those houses in and around Hampton Bay. And so we're looking to have that preserved,
Yeah,
restored.
the front building we're keeping
Yeah.
as is. We
Great.
just did the interior.
Yeah.
So we have a flag here about the setbacks, on the LP storage tanks. Don't appear to comply with the minimum 50-foot setback to the buildings as required
Yep.
by the New York State Fire Code, and so you're advised to initiate discussions with the town's fire marshal. Have you done that?
We have done that, yes. We're waiting for comments from the fire marshal.
Yeah, I was told by them, one of my guys actually lives next to him, but I was told that they can't officially really look at this until we have the full application in.
I get that for all.
That's what I was told, that they can't fully dive into this until that application's in.
But you're aware of it anyway?
Yes, we are
Yeah.
aware.
Okay.
And they're aware of the plan and everything, it's just they said they can't really do anything until.
And some plan, when you do site plan, with where your outdoor storage is going to be?
Yeah, it's all on this,
Is it all going to be in that little building that you're building, the wooden building, or?
Wooden buildings for like little parts and accessories. Outside in the backyard is gonna be the trucks, and then we also have some empty tanks, which are prior to being installed in someone's home, like underground or above-ground tanks.
Do you plan to do any on-site filling of small cylinders?
We'll have a station for that, very minimal. It's not our main business, but, you
No,
know,
I'm just
yeah,
curious.
since you have the stuff there, you have.
It just involves additional turning.
Yeah,
moving
you could
in
have
and
a few
out.
people, but that's summertime and very minimal. You know, that's not our main thing.
Like a tank exchange thing where they have the cage?
They actually come in and you.
Well, they come in and we can connect
You
and
actually
fill.
You actually fill it, yeah. You get more gas in your tank than if you buy an exchange cylinder.
Can I have your name for the record, please?
Yes, Chris Brody, or Christopher Brody's the full name.
Christopher
Brody.
Brody, B-R-O-D-Y?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we have some people who would like to speak to this, so Gail Lombardi.
So thank you again. I've been following, planning and zoning in town of Southampton for a decade, and it completely fails the residents of the town of Southampton, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not the planning board, because by the time a site plan comes before you, it's fait accompli. It's already zoning in place, it has a right, and it's failed Hampton Bays. It's, the people from East Quogue may have left, but apparently it's failing them. Montauk Highway corridor is a disaster. The town board adopted a corridor strategic plan 13 years ago and failed to implement it. So now they partially implement the change of zoning for east of the canal, from Ponquag to east of the canal, changing highway business into hamlet office, but they have failed to adopt it west of the canal. West of Ponquag Avenue, and this site would not be highway business. This site was supposed to be Hamlet Office 13 years ago. This application would not be before this board if the town board did what they were supposed to do. There is no way that 80,000 gallons of propane should be on our main street. Next to, you're talking about traffic, you don't have an operable diner site. You have 2 buildings there. It's not in operation. You don't have Cruz Brothers in operation. You have no idea what that traffic site is going to look like when you're done. You just approved applications, and you have no idea. So you're talking about main traffic? You have no idea what it's going to look like. And so now you have this application. It's not fair to the developer, because as of right, he should be able to do that. But the planning and zoning has failed. Hampton Bays on the corridor, Montauk corridor. It's just absolutely disgraceful. And both the developers, the cannabis site had to walk away because they changed the zoning. They pulled the rug out from under him. They pulled out the rug out from under the laundromat that you spent years on, but I think maybe somehow he's still putting bulldozers in the ground. There needs to be a moratorium on the corridor, on the Hampton Bays corridor, and that corridor needs to be looked at and re-reviewed. Here's the list of the properties that were supposed to be changed, and the property is listed on this list, so I'm not making it up. It's right in the corridor strategic plan, and the town board only adopted half of them. So I don't know if you want this, if you want to go to the corridor strategic plan. But this is not an appropriate use at that site. Squeezed between the 2 new buildings, and I think I could be wrong, the western property is Cruz Brothers. I didn't get a chance to actually pass by there again. So it's not an appropriate thing on Montauk Highway. Not what Montauk Highway is supposed to look like, just like the East Quad people are saying. But in fairness to the developer, we may have to bite the bullet because of our zoning. So I really recommend, the end of that is I really recommend that the town consider a moratorium on the Montauk Highway corridor and relook at what's going on there and reset up what should be going on there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Heather, right?
That's me. No,
Well, that's your Heather, of course, sorry.
That's okay.
Sue Smith.
Thank you. I don't even know where to begin. There's so many concerns about a propane depot right in the middle of town, right there, with a medical center next door to it, Cruz Brothers lumber, or not lumber, but construction with, I'm sure, construction materials, Riverhead Building right next door to it with all of these construction. They talk about their driveway, how they're going to use one driveway to get in and one driveway to get out. That's never going to happen. The driveway that they want to come out of is, and I'm not real good with distance, but I'd say it's less than 100 feet, maybe less than 150 feet from the traffic light. They're going to get one truck out at a time, possibly, I don't know. So that opening right there is where the traffic light is. Do you see where the traffic light is? Right there, yes. So they're going to come out that driveway with all of the cars on Montauk Highway heading east, and they're going to try to have their trucks come out of the driveway. I don't see that happening. So that the traffic thing is a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the danger of a explosion of some kind. It might be slight in some people's minds, but it's not slight in my mind. My husband is a volunteer ambulance driver in Hampton Bays. If he has to go east or west on Montauk Highway at any given time, you just can't get there. And there's no other way to get to the back where the storage is except for Montauk Highway. There's no way to get there. There's no way for ambulance or fire or any kind of emergency services to get there without going through those two driveways. And if that is on fire, who's going to get to it? How many trucks are they going to have there? I don't know. How many are going to try to go in and out at the same time? He says, they say they're only going out once in the morning and coming back there once. So how many trucks are going to be lined up to, or try to make the right-hand turns or left-hand turns at any given moment when they're on the roads? That concerns me. I also know that there are severe problems with connections when you connect propane to even small tanks. We, at one time, had a motorhome, and we had a connection problem at one of the very large gas stations out west where you connect. When propane is exposed to air, it freezes immediately. So there was an air pocket when they were connecting our propane, from their propane to our tank. There was an air problem, and it froze. They evacuated 5 miles for 3.5 hours till they could figure out how to get their connection off our motorhome.
Wow.
So I don't know if any of you have thought about that. I don't know if you guys have thought about that, but I know that connecting propane to anything is a problem. There could be a potential disaster. So the ambulance and fire trucks, there's too much traffic there. They're saying that they're at the light to get out. They're not at the light, they're before the light. So if they pull their 35-foot truck out and it has to wait for the light, no one else is moving, and there's not another truck going to be able to get out. So I don't know how they're going to, that in the morning going east, I don't know if any of you have seen that traffic line. Okay.
Don't forget, they gotta get across
They
the
gotta
buffer
get
grid to get to Sunrise Highway,
They got
to
to
get
get
to the 2 turn
across
lanes.
something.
get
They
to
have
the
to
2
go
turn lanes.
through it or across to move at all.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. And I know that my actual first concern, and I know it doesn't make a difference to anybody else, but my granddaughter works at Panera Bread. And when the place blows up, is the shattering glass going to hit my granddaughter, breaking my heart. It's a disaster area for it.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it anywhere but there.
Wrong location.
It's the wrong location. There's just too much of combustible materials even close to it.
But you know, with the trucks, in all fairness, right now, it's flatbeds. If you go there, it's rapid recovery, but they're
Yeah, but
huge.
there was 4 trucks.
They go out there constantly.
I know, I get that,
Yeah.
but it's not all trucks going
No, I
at
know.
one
Your
time
comments
or
are valid.
another.
Now, I'm not trying to validate, but
Yeah.
just bear in mind that this is not a new, bare site that we're just putting this facility in.
Exactly, it's not. But the diner has been non-use forever. Now there's going to be medical people coming in and out and
Yep.
patients coming in and out. So we've already congested that site with that. We don't need another congestion.
You know, I don't know to what extent they'll make a difference, but there is talk about a traffic circle right at that intersection. Because it's a prime spot for it?
Yes.
Because you have so
There
many,
is talk about it.
I mean, that might help, but,
That might help, but
you know, we all
that's,
live there.
we're
We know,
told,
we know what a nightmare it is.
3 to 5 years away.
Yes,
At least.
yes.
At least, yes. So there's talk about it, but it's not there yet. I'm concerned with what's there right now. It's just not the spot. It
Okay.
needs to be in an a spot that's open. And people can get to, emergency vehicles can get to from more than just one road.
Right.
There's no way they're going to get there.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you so much for
Very
letting me
enlightening.
speak.
Eileen McPhailin?
Eileen McPhailin, Hampton Bays. Sorry. Ridiculous. I find it unbelievable to think you can consider such a business in such a place, in that area. For all the reasons that Gail and Sue have mentioned, I can repeat, but I won't, but I echo them. If you try to imagine, if you stand there and envision what the traffic is going to be with the medical buildings being complete, and then to add something else right next to it, the word is ridiculous. And anybody that lives in Hampton Bays or goes through Hampton Bays should not have to deal with it. As far as a traffic circle, we've been told that the Civic Association, just this past year, that's been buried. There will be no traffic circle there. It just doesn't work. Do I care? No, I don't care, because it seems that it's going to be appropriate enough with what's going on. There's going to be more traffic, obviously, with people going in and out of those medical buildings. With this situation, just ridiculous. So please deeply consider another place. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter, is there anyone on Zoom?
No one.
Somebody else in the back, I think, Jay?
Oh,
I'm sorry, we got here too late.
okay, come up. Yeah.
You don't have to imagine.
Let me-
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is John Burnson, IT manager, Quag Sinclair Fuels. You don't have to imagine what this business will look like, because there's our business right next door. We do propane. We have 80,000 gallons of fuel in our system. Last week, when it was so cold, we were getting 4 tankers in a day. We have 5 delivery vehicles go in and out, and it's not go out in the morning and come back. It starts that way, but trucks come back for reloads throughout the day. We have smaller companies come to us for fuel, and I suspect he will do the same thing that we do with that. So, yeah, a lot of traffic. Not much foot traffic. We get a few people in for barbecue tanks, but, not much what you would consider retail. People don't drive to our office, except old retirees who insist they have to come to our counter and write a check. So where was I going to go with that?
Traffic.
Traffic.
Go on.
Thank you, yes. Trucks, propane is delivered in 18-wheelers, 10,000-gallon tankers. They're either going to have to go and make the left-hand turn if they're westbound, cutting across traffic. If they're coming westbound to get into his first driveway, there's a telephone pole between his driveway and ours. The truck is going to have to go left to turn right. So swinging out serpentine. So I've been puzzling why we would want to, why it's being suggested to put this business right next to ours. And the only reason I can come up with is because we're already there, we're doing the same business. You look like fair people. If you've let us do this, which you did 10 years ago, it'd only be fair to let him do that as well. Of all the places in Southampton and Riverhead Town this facility can go, the only reason I can figure is, it's not like McDonald's. You don't get a lot of drive-up propane business. And, he'll have a sign out on Main Street, but that's okay. He's got trucks all over the place. He's already got his billboards. So Hiltz here can tell you, it's, propane is relatively safe. Very little goes wrong usually. But 2 months ago, we had our fire, you probably heard about it, brush fire out right behind our propane plant. If propane does have a major accident, it makes national news. But now you're putting his facility right next to ours. If either one of us succumbs to that level of disaster, I can't help but think both of them are going to be gone. So put that in your thinking.
Great.
All right. Questions?
No.
Yeah, Cruz isn't next to him. We're next to Cruz, and they're the ones who lit the fire, so.
Wow.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Okay, if there's,
That lady wants to speak.
oh, sorry, yeah. It's okay.
She's my boss.
Oh.
So Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
My name is Brenda Sinclair, and I'm kind of off balance now because we mentioned a lot of things that I would like to correct. But I would like to start by saying that I understand that you are referring him at some point to the fire marshal. My biggest concern right now is safety. I'm concerned about the safety of my business, and I'm concerned about the safety of other businesses. When Cruz had a fire, it was because they were using their property inappropriately. But it could have been a tragedy for our business and for our community. There's houses on the other side of the other side of the railroad tracks. There were 3 fire departments backing us up. They used our property, which is absolutely fine. You can use my property to fight a fire anytime you want. But they used ours, and they used Riverhead Building because there wasn't enough room there. Now, Cruz has these 2 massive buildings there. If it had been a windy night, there would have been a major problem between all the wood at RBS, and God forbid something blew over to ours. Again, safety is important. But the biggest thing I find, and Hiltz can attribute to this, is this site plan calls for them to ignore NFPA 58, which is a national standard that says you need 50 feet off of any property line. They don't have 50 feet off of any property line. The way it's positioned, they have, I think, 151, but 31 on the other side, which is close to a medical facility, which is a radiology facility, which again has issues with the use of propane. I would implore you to make sure you're not letting our community in for a disaster. Are things going to blow up? I can't say that. I can't say my plane can't blow up. I try my hardest, we do everything we can do, but why would you possibly put it next to us? There's plenty of other places, and if they're not, that's not our fault. It does not belong there. We now have a gas station on one side, and we have the new gas station on the other side. The traffic has increased dramatically. Talk to Riverhead Building Supply. You're not supposed to make a left out of McDonald's, not McDonald's, 7-Eleven, and they do. So now Riverhead Building wants to go left out of his building, and we have the other lefts going out this way, which they're not supposed to do. This is going to be a major accident. This is a horrible intersection. And while I understand you state that it's only going to be a few bobtails in and out, that's untrue unless you only fill them up once a day, which is not what usually happens. And we're totally forgetting the fact that there's major transports that come in and fill up the tanks. This 80,000 gallons of propane we're discussing doesn't come in from the bobtails. It comes in from major transports. So now we were talking about making a left to go, you brought up. So first of all, I'm not sure how they're widening the driveway unless they're getting rid of this parking there, because as it is, people constantly pull in our driveway to go up there. It's a mess. Because the 2 houses were originally homes, the Jackson family, so they were related, and it was kind of, they didn't mind that they used each other's driveway. Scott and I attempted not to use each other's driveway because it is problematic. You're right about Scott pulling through, and the reason he started doing that is because it's almost impossible to get out. He was using the east side, and when the diner wasn't doing anything, he was able to sneak out that way. I would say, depending on the day, there wasn't all that much traffic in and out. I'm trying to think realistically. I mean, I've been there for, since 1992. So I'm trying to consider how much was coming in and out. They were very careful about how they came in and out, all right? So they always made sure they went out of their way. So we were talking about trying to get out of there, and you were saying, well, you could get a truck out to go east. Everybody's not always going east. As you pointed out, if you want to get up on Sunrise Highway, you have to go across those 2 lanes,
You get
3
to the turn
lanes,
lane, yeah.
right? You have a transport coming in. Now you're coming down probably from the highway, and they're going to make an instant left, which is going to stop everything. They're, again, going across 3 lanes. There is a turning lane, which starts halfway through my driveway. I don't know how to explain it. At the time they put it in, we wanted them to make it a full turning lane, like start back sooner so you could actually get in it. I'm telling you right now, there's times I sit in that turning lane and I'm waiting to be just head-on collision, because what people do, and I know it's not your fault, they, believe it or not, go over into the turning lane at Stop and Shop, come straight down the non-existent turning lane to the turning lane at Panera, and keep going, and I'm sitting here in my turning lane, and there's people coming at you, and there's nowhere to go. They go on the left of you, they go on the right of you, there's people pulling off the road, because there's not enough room. There's just not enough room. I wish it had changed. 30, 40 years ago, there's more room. There's just not. And I don't see how you're possibly going to get in and out of there. And I also don't see how you widen the driveway unless you're getting rid of the parking. Are you getting rid of the parking?
Brenda, just.
Oh, sorry. Because there's parking there, and when they back out, they back into what is pretty much our driveway.
That's being moved up.
So I don't know how it gets widened because there's a pole and like that. The other thing is nobody mentioned, how do you make a left?
You can't.
I'm assuming
It's
you're
a
not going to
death
spend your
threat.
entire business only going east and directly east. So I'm not saying this as a competitor. I'm saying this as a community member. We don't need any more problems with traffic. It's a nightmare. I don't know. Never heard about the circle. I'm assuming people know there's enough room, but I don't know how that would affect. Isn't there going to be even less turning radius into the buildings on the
Depends how they design it.
south side?
Yeah, they design
Yeah, they
it.
can design it with wide lanes, you know.
Okay, I mean, as I say, I don't know. But I really, going back to safety is my big issue. If we have a fire code, I really think it should be adhered to. It's a very simple premise for me. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Zoom.
Zoom?
No, there wasn't any money more on Zoom.
Still no one.
Did, Heather, do you want to?
So I just have a couple points I want to make for clarification. So, with respect to safety, we all know that's why we go through the site plan process, which is what Quag Sinclair did in 2015 when they installed their first 42,500 gallon tank, and then again in 2018 when they installed a second 42,000 square foot tank at their property. So we fully expect to go through the same site plan process that is required by the code here. And I also want to just make sure it's very clear on the record. We all know, obviously, that the traffic in this area is very challenging, especially in the summer months. I know it, I live in West Hampton. Going out to Southampton in the summer is a disaster. But let's remember that there was an existing business here at this property that generated a significant amount of in and out of traffic all day long. And so we're replacing it with what we believe is a less intense business in a zone that allows for this type of business. So certainly in the site plan process, we'll obviously work with the board to come up with the best solutions with respect to, you know, ingress and egress and all of the required site plan elements. The other thing I wanted to address briefly is we certainly will follow all of the town and the NFPA codes. And with respect to the setback, I mean, this is something we can look at more closely, but if you actually look at the survey, you can see it here. There's a dotted line that actually gave this sliver of property to this property back in through an appropriation, and that was back in 2018. So really, the setback is 50 feet, and it's to that property line. But that's certainly something that, you know, I can look at with Christine, and we can go over it. But our intention is obviously to meet the 50-foot requirement, as well as the separation between the buried tanks and the ground, just like you required Quogue Sinclair to do in 2015 and 2018. And then, what was I going to say? With respect to the, you know, the connection to tanks and the possibility of, you know, I think Hiltz can speak to that more if you want more information. But really, this is really no different than when you get your tank filled at your house, right? I mean, there's the same risks that exist there, and obviously these safety codes, the NFPA and the town code and the fire marshal are all here to make sure that the businesses comply with whatever the requirements are.
Okay.
I know we did a big propane facility east.
You did, in Bridgehampton you did it?
No, east side of Hampton Bays. Used to be Bankston's Fuel, and someone bought it, and they're huge propane tanks in the back, big white ones, on the east side of Ponquag Avenue, on the right past. I remember doing the site plan, and that actually has close proximity to residences on the other side of the railroad track.
Right, well, this is more than, like, about 700 feet from the nearest residence,
Right.
but if you look at what you did in Bridgehampton, Blue Light, which is next to Suburban Propane,
Yeah.
they each have two 30,000-gallon above-ground tanks, which are approximately 160 feet apart, and those above-ground tanks are certainly not as safe. I mean, it's better to bury them for aesthetic reasons and also for safety reasons, which is why we're proposing to do that here.
At a huge cost to that, too.
Yeah. Oh, and I also, the last point I wanted to address, I just think it's worth mentioning on the record. The reason that Mr. Brody selected this property was because, as you probably know, since you sit here every other week, the commercial properties are very hard to find. And commercial properties that would allow this business then are zoned for it are very hard to find. So it was not for lack of searching and trying. We were actually in contract on another property and it didn't work out. So, you know, this is a commercial property that's zoned for this type of business. And so, you know, that's why.
I think,
Okay.
you know, you're hearing the concerns, the questions from the board and the concerns from the public, and when the site application comes in, everyone will have a chance to review it, and
Yep, of course.
we'll talk more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll have a 30-day written comment period. Motion by Kate, second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 4 in favor, 2 absent, 1 vacancy. So you have an opportunity to write your comments and concerns during that period of time. Thank you very much for coming to the public hearing. It's always good to hear from you. Motion to close by Dennis, second by George. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 4 in favor, 2 absent, and 1 vacancy. Thanks, good night.
Thank you.